The hall was filled with office chatter, the kind that exists only because silence feels uncomfortable. Different departments had been brought together and seated at round tables under the idea of networking, but most people were only performing conversation, not actually engaging in it. I sat beside a girl I barely knew. She hadn't spoken much since we arrived. There was something about her presence that felt still, almost detached, like she was observing the room more than participating in it. When the stage lights dimmed and the program began, something changed in the atmosphere. That's when I saw him. A man standing across the arena, staring directly at me. At first, I assumed he was just another attendee. But something about him felt deeply wrong in a way I couldn't explain. It wasn't his appearance. It was the sense that he didn't belong to the same layer of reality as the rest of us. Then I noticed another near the exit. Another behind the stage curtain. Slowly, more figures began to appear in different parts of the hall. They weren't interacting with anyone. They weren't speaking or reacting. They were simply there, watching. And without knowing why, I became certain of one thing. They had come for me. My chest tightened. I looked around expecting someone else to notice, but no one did. People continued laughing, eating, scrolling on their phones, completely unaware of what was unfolding right beside them. It felt like I was trapped inside a version of reality that only I could see. I leaned slightly toward the girl beside me and asked quietly if she could see them. She turned to me without surprise or confusion, as if the question was already expected. After a brief pause, she reached into her bag and took out a small notebook. She opened it and began writing. When I asked what she was writing, she replied softly, "Things that will help you." Before I could process what she meant, one of the men began walking toward us. His movement was slow but direct, and with each step, the air around him felt heavier. My body froze instinctively, but the girl did not react. She simply finished a line in her notebook. And something inside me shifted. It wasn't a thought or an instruction. It was a sudden, quiet clarity, as if my body already knew what to do before my mind could question it. I moved without thinking, just in time to avoid him. For a moment, I didn't understand how I had done it. But then another figure appeared behind me, and again she wrote. And again, something in me aligned. I moved perfectly, as if my actions were being guided by something deeper than decision. The hall no longer felt like an event space. It felt unstable, as if reality itself had started to fracture around me. More figures appeared between people, between shadows, between moments of distraction. Each one moved toward me with quiet intent, and each time I was close to being overwhelmed, she wrote. At some point, I collapsed to my knees. Exhaustion hit all at once, like my body had crossed limits it was never meant to reach. The world blurred, and the noise of the hall faded into something distant. For the first time, I thought I might not be able to continue. The attacks did not stop. But then something unexpected happened. The girl stopped writing. The silence that followed felt heavier than everything before it. I looked at her, unsure of what had changed. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't panicking. She simply looked at me with complete calm awareness, as if she was still in control of something I could not see. Then she leaned closer and gently kissed my cheek. Warmth spread through my body. Not explosive, not overwhelming, but deeply restoring, like something that had been broken inside me quietly returned to its original shape. My breathing steadied. My strength returned. I stood up again. The hall no longer felt real in the same way, but I was no longer resisting it either. And strangely, I wasn't afraid anymore. Because every time I looked at her, she was still writing. Calmly, steadily, as if none of this was chaos to her. As if reality itself was only continuing because she allowed it to be written that way. And somewhere in that silence, a thought appeared, not loud, not forced, just present. Maybe reality is not something we live inside. Maybe it is something being written. And some people are simply closer to the pen than others.